Hi, this is Mike Elliott, and you're watching CEO Live. Today we're joined by Mr. Matthew Schissler, CEO of Cord Blood America. Cord Blood America is the parent company of CoreCell, which is an umbilical cord blood stem cell preservation company focused on bringing the life-saving potential of stem cells to families nationwide and internationally. Cord Blood America is a publicly traded company. Its common stock trades on the NASDAQ OTC Bulletin Board under the symbol CBAI. Today, Matt's going to be bringing us up to date on recent events at the company, including the relocation of their corporate headquarters to Las Vegas, Nevada. Good morning, Matt. Great to have you with us again.
Hey, good morning, Mike. Great to talk to you as well.
Well, you guys have just undergone a major relocation to Las Vegas, and if you could just detail for us what's been done and what we can expect by the end of the year.
Yeah, just wanted to be clear and concise with our investors. We have officially moved the company to Las Vegas. The people are in. The furniture, some is in route. The lab equipment, some is in route. And we believe that we'll have the lab set up within the next month to month and a half. Then we'll have go through the validation process and then be able to process umbilical cord blood sometime late fourth quarter or early first quarter at the very latest next year. And so our target date to be fully live and fully processing and functioning, drop dead date is January 31st of next year. We believe it'll be a lot sooner. We want to make sure the validation process goes well. And then what that means is we have to make sure that the equipment functions properly. We have to do dummy tests, processing dummy blood and so forth, to just before we start full-scale processing to get ourselves up and running. Now, why it's important for investors, one more time, that we have our own lab, it's a couple of reasons, Mike. First and foremost, it significantly reduced our cost of goods sold by having our own processing and storage in-house. We've been outsourcing lab services for the last almost 7 years, and that got us to where we are today, and that's been a great stepping stone for us. But now we want to significantly decrease the cost of goods sold, which means we'll significantly increase the gross profit by the company, and that's why having our own lab. So expect sometime in early 2010 to see those costs start coming way down. Secondly, it allows us to diversify our revenue streams. Having our own lab not only allows us to process and store our own cord blood, but there's just multiple offerings that we could have with our own lab, including getting contracts from other people to other companies to process and store cord blood with us, the very same way we started 7 years ago. To diversify revenue streams in other products of stem cells, such as adipose tissue stem cells, adult peripheral stem cells, and other biologic products as simple as plasma and blood. So, having our own lab allows us to expand and diversify our revenue streams and significantly decreases our cost of goods sold. Two very important things that the investors need to know.
And you had a very specific game plan this year. I mean, we've been following you since the beginning of the year, and you've executed very well on that. Could you give us any insight into plans for next year in terms of overall business strategy?
Sure. Let me rehash this year one more time for the investors that haven't heard it enough. It's debt reduction, organic growth, acquisition. And all you have to do is follow it. And I've been saying this since January of this year. Just follow what we've done. We've reduced the debt significantly, down $9.6 million from the beginning of the year. We've acquired the laboratory, the space, the equipment, and we're setting up our lab. And then the organic growth piece. And we believe that in 2009 was the year to really get the bottom half of our P&L statement right, which means reducing the cost of goods sold, getting our costs under control as an organization, and really firming up a solid foundation for a company. In 2010, and then of course, cleaning up the balance sheet with the debt. In 2010, the focus significantly shifts to the top half of the balance sheet and the top half of the P&L. And that means acquiring more assets. So the three pillars of success for 2010 are acquisition, which means acquiring other assets, organic growth, which means growing the cord blood business as we know it, and the diversification of revenue streams, which means layering in other products and services that we can process and store in our own lab. So in 2010, we believe that most, if not all, the debt will be gone by then. And in fact, we believe that could happen by the end of this year, but if not, into early next year, we'll have taken out most, if not all, of the debt. And so at that point, we want to focus imperatively and specifically on revenue streams, organic growth, acquisition, and diversification of revenue streams.
Well, you've managed, along those same lines, you've managed to retire a significant amount of debt this year, especially recently. A lot of the questions coming from investors are, where's the money coming from? And then secondly, just commenting on that, could you also indicate, you know, obviously what impact this has on the overall balance sheet of the company? I just want to reiterate that so that people understand.
Yeah, this is a fair question from the investors. At the beginning of the year, we had debts that some were serviced with cash flow and some were serviced with stock. We completely retired the debts that were serviced with cash flow early on this year. The rest are serviced with stock, and so in order to pay down the debts, we've issued shares to pay them down. Now, it's important investors understand, because they'll use the term dilution, and then that's exactly what it is. But it's important investors to understand that during this dilutive process that's been paying down the debts, our stock was at 0015 at the beginning of the year, and as I'm sitting here talking to you today, it's 007. So we're up over 4 times while we've been paying down the debts. And the good news about the debts is that they're finite, and when they're done, and that should significantly reduce the dilution, if not end it altogether. And so I wanted to make sure the investors are clear that the debt, you know, we've been saying from the beginning of the year we're going to pay down the debts, and we knew there was going to be some dilution happening this year. It did happen, but during that time, contrary to popular philosophy, our stock went up 4 times and didn't go down. So we've been very, very cautious about when we put the debt into the market, even though we don't have a heck of a lot of options, because our debtors are the ones that, you know, basically dictate the terms about when they want to convert their debt. But we've tiptoed into it, and we've been very, very fortunate to have the stock price go up while we've been able to get rid of the debt.
Matt, that concludes our time. Did you have any final comments you wanted to make before we close?
No, Mike, that's all. I just want to say one last time, for 2010, for the investors, look for organic growth, acquisition of other assets, and the diversification of revenue streams for CBAI. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Matt. You've been watching CEO Live with Mr. Matthew Schissler, CEO of Cord Blood America. To find out more about Cord Blood America, you can visit their website at www.cordblood-america.com, or you can visit their social media newsroom at brandmediapr.com/Cord Blood America, or you can visit their Facebook fan page by searching for Cord Blood America. Thank you.